Hello there, fans and frenemies, and welcome back. Today, I'm going to be working on my purity trial submissions for Wysteria. I don't think that this video is posting after my ARPG video, which, I'm working on an ARPG video, so that'll add a little more context, but I have been playing this game lately called, World of Rios. It's an ARPG, so it's like a closed species kind of roleplay thing on DeviantArt, where you can get these sort of fictional closed species characters and you can breed them and you level them up and do activities by drawing them. And it's been just like a lot of fun. I've been super enjoying it. And I actually started it because I was working on a video about a different kind of ARPG, and I was like, oh, I should play this kind so that I have more context and can write a more fair review. But I was so scared of them, and then I actually got into it and I was like, oh, this is great. So, at the time I'm recording this, I own 2 Varens, and this is Wysteria. She's my girl Tabby, and she's so pretty and purple. And I'm working on her purity trials, which is you gotta do 3 images, and they're like fully shaded and with a background and colored and everything, and then they're allowed to breed. And so I have to do hers. And for this first one, the prompt is like, you're on a long journey, and she lives in Warrenfall, which is like a big snowy, mountainy landscape. So we're working on the journey, and she needs a companion for this, so I threw myself in, since, you know, she's mine, I'm writing her. So I kind of actually went ahead with drawing myself the way I used to draw myself, just because I think it's more of a fun aesthetic, and not the way I kind of currently look. But I used to wear, when I was in high school, I used to wear Nushanka every day, and it, you know, I was a weird kid. Who wasn't, right? So, yeah, I threw myself in my old Ushanka, and I went with a color scheme of stuff that I used to use. I don't even think I have these pants anymore, but I used to have these teal pants. But I just went with that, because I was like, you know what? These are my characters, so I'm gonna be the writer. But, yeah, so that's what I'm working on. Also, if you're seeing this today, it's probably not a Sunday when this is going up, so you're probably wondering, like, oh, this is weird, your schedule is not usually this. Unfortunately, lately I have been hit with the depression. You guys, it's probably no surprise, most of you know that I've got low functioning depression, and for the past, God, like 8 months, I've posted a video every single day, except for that, probably for the past year or so, outside of that 2-week break. So, like, I've done a pretty good job of staying on schedule, but lately I've just been hit with like a big, like, art block of, not really like an art block, like I've been working on my ARPG stuff where my brain is like, yeah, you can do this stuff, it's fun, but I haven't been able to like animate anything. Like when I open my video editor, I just stare at it. So a couple days have passed and I haven't really gotten over it, so I'm kind of adding some more speed paints into my queue to give myself a little bit more time to kind of work on things, and I hope that's okay. I hope you guys, you know, understand. You're on the internet, I'm on the internet, you probably know somebody with depression. You know, it's kind of hard sometimes to do stuff, especially when you're an artist, and you guys know how often I post, and I got the ADHD too, so I always work like crazy hard, I'm always drawing, but sometimes just kicks you in the pants, and you're like, guess I got nothing, but I still want to make content, you know, so this is something that I definitely felt like I could still do. So kind of shuffling my queue so that I can kind of get back on schedule later. And I hope you enjoy it anyway. But today I'm going to be working on my 3 pieces for my purity trial for Wysteria. And yeah, so this is the first one. I don't, in my previous speed paints, I've done a lot of like character portraits, but I haven't done too many like full pieces with like backgrounds and stuff. I'm also working at a much smaller, like canvas size than usual. My usual speed paint videos are 11 by 17, so they're like 3200 by 5000 pixels, something like that. But this one's 1500 by 1000 pixels, so it's a relatively small piece. It's not made to print, it's just for web, you know? Which is why I feel a lot better about working on it, and it's taking a lot less time. Which is why I also wanted to throw 3 of these into a video instead of just 1. Thought it would be more fun. But yeah, so I'm going in on the shading, so you guys get to see kind of a little background here. This is still a relatively simple background, but I think of my 3 purity trials that I'm doing today, this one's my favorite one that I did. Mountains are hard. You can definitely, I think, taste the Bob Rossiness in them, where I've really picked up stylistically how I draw them from Bob Ross videos. But I'm also not going to apologize for that, because Bob Ross is great. He's a great artist. Bob Ross mountains look fantastic. So, Wysteria is like, I've been trying to come up with like characters for both of them. Like I said, I own the 2 Vayrons. For her, I'm thinking she's kind of like a tough girl. She's got like bear ears and a cat tail, so it really makes her look kind of like a, while the other ones are like horse dogs, to me it makes me really, like, I keep drawing her more like a panther. She's very, very feline, I guess. So I kind of draw her like a big mountain lion horse dog. I think of her as like a tough girl, where she's very quiet and all stoic. She's, I gave her the guard class, so she's very like tough and cool and doesn't speak much, but she's like also really pretty and soft. She's got that like snow leopard fur on her, so people often underestimate her and they're like, oh, she's really sweet and her name is like a flower. She could totally kick your butt. At least that's my thought for her. So the more I draw her, the more I get like a feel for what I want to do with the character and how I want her to feel and react and stuff. And for all the pieces with her in it, since they're all in waterfall, I throw in snow at the end. But I think this one came out really nice. Like, I just think the colors were nice. The composition was nice. I think it's a really nice one. I really like how that one came out. So the next trial, there's a couple of different prompts that you can go with, and for but it's the sustain trial. So basically, you have to do some kind of like hunting trial kind of a thing, but you have to do usually without like another. If you just have one character, they can only hunt a small prey. They can't hunt anything from the large prey list, because like one Veyron wouldn't be able to take down, you know, like a whole mountain lion or a whole moose or something like that. You would need a partner. But for your sustain trial, you gotta take down a large prey. So since like I said, she's so very lion-y in my head, I decided to pick off the prey list a mountain lion. Also, I just kind of like mountain lions, and I thought it would be fun to draw. So I went with a pretty wacky composition here. Since what I really enjoy about doing this ARPG thing is that because I have to draw so many scenes suddenly, and usually I don't draw a lot of scenes. I draw character art and stuff like that, but since I have to draw so many scenes, I've been getting really creative with my like composition and stuff. Like if you look at my old Warrior Cats designs, you'll see like the first couple ones are more actually complicated. And as I realized kind of like how to draw something that was going to be simplified for animation, you could see me getting really creative with trying to make different looking simplified designs so that they were still simple but also unique. And that's a really difficult thing to do, I think. I really like stuff like that. So with this one, I've just been doing a lot of really more creative kind of compositions and stuff, especially because like, since I have to draw the same character doing a lot of similar things over and over again, I get really creative with the styles and the art, and I've been doing a lot of different things. And I think that's what I've really been enjoying, is that it pushes me to try something different. Since I have to do a lot of similar things, I'm trying to do them in different ways of my own volition, which is fun. Been really enjoying that. But yeah, so the first thing I do is I have to go in and get my blocking, and she's got this kind of like fadey thing that goes on with her like purple. It's not just plain purple, like there's a Pangea kind of a thing going on. So I get the blocking out first for it, and then I go in and I add some of the color stuff, and then last I go in with the stripes, which is like getting your face stripes in is the most complicated, because like I don't know, I just don't draw Veyron faces the way they are on the thing, and the way I draw them is a lot more toony and like stubby, and you lose a lot of that kind of facial detail. So all of those markings get smooshed together on her face, and you can see, like, if you look at my pictures of her, I draw her basically differently every time because I'm trying to figure out how to stylize her face so all the markings are still there and the same, but like look okay in my style. That's like a problem. But yeah, so we're going in for the lion now. Gotta get the lion done. And I always struggle with like a pose like this. I'm like, where do I put like the butt marks? You know, like the butt is like a white color that comes out of the belly, and I'm like, where does it go? I also did a totally different thing for the background. I did these very kind of like hard lines, I guess, instead of the last one, it was very soft. I did more painty. This one's more, I guess it's still painty, but it's with a harder brush. I didn't use like an opacity brush like I usually do. So I think that was fun too. Like I said, I like to do kind of change things up since I've got to draw all these backgrounds. I'm like, let me do something different this time. Let me do something different this time. And because I'm doing it just because I want to, it feels, you know, it feels different than when somebody like makes you do something. Like if I had to do it for a class, it's like, I'm not even paying attention. But because I'm just doing it because I want to, because it's like, hey, you gotta draw this. And I'm like, oh, I gotta draw it again. I want to do it differently. Yeah, so that's really fun. But man, I've really been having just like a lot of fun playing this game, and I guess I would like recommend like joining if it's something that's interesting to you. Like if you like breeding games, like Lyoden or whatever they did one with wolves now, Lyoden, Wages, Flight Rising, stuff like that. If you like those games and you also like drawing, this might be a really fun thing to try. Like I was really scared to join it at first because I was like, oh, it looks so complicated. And it kind of is, but once you get it, like once it clicks, it just clicks and then it's easy. Like now I'm like, it all makes sense. And it took a couple of days of like looking at stuff and reading things and like drawing my first one. But then once it clicked, I was like, oh my God, I get it. And man, I've been just having like a total blast. You can get your first like Varen for free, if you want one. So like, what you do is you go to the world-of-rios.deviantart.com because that's their like group, and you find the adoption center, and you can pick one. Well, you can pick two up a month, so you can pick one up for free, and you just like you get a genotype, which is like it'll be a description of what markings and colors are on the baby, and then you design the baby using the like template. There's an import template, so you use the template or the base or whatever, and then you use the markings that it has on your genotype and you design it, and then ta-da, you have one, and you can level them up and stuff by drawing them. So like I think this piece was worth 13 credit points, and then so every time you draw them you get points, and that's how they level up and get like experience and whatnot. And then when they get more experience, then they can do more things. You can breed them, and you know, get jobs and do quests and stuff, and you get items, and then you get cooler babies and yada yada yada. That's the, you know, if you've ever played a breeding game, that's the thing, is you always want to just get better babies, get more babies, better babies, and how you do that is just keep drawing them and draw other people's too. You actually get a lot of rewards for drawing other people's, and what I really enjoy is that I can, like, a lot of the time people will just do trades like, you know, here's a genotype, if you draw my character and get me like, you know, 20 points, then you can take it. And it's like, ooh, I can just do it. I can just earn stuff. I like that. I really like that I can just draw and earn and just do it. And I don't know, been really enjoying that. Oh, right, this third trial, this third piece is like, the prompt that I used is that she's on guard. So it's like a night piece, and that's me again, but this time I'm having a nap and she's staying up all night to keep watch and make sure no predators come along, you know? So that's what this trial is staying awake and being responsible for other people's safety. And I have submitted these, and I'm still, I mean, I'm recording this like 2 days after I put it in, so I'm still waiting for them to get back to me and approve them or tell me if there's something that needs to be fixed. But I think I got this one. I don't think I need anything fixed on these trials. I think her training has a problem with it that needs to be fixed, but they haven't gotten back to me on what it was. And then she'll be able to breed and have beautiful babies. Hooray! My other Veyron has completed his purity trials, so I can breed him if I wanted to. I really do want to get her ready because she's got Tabby, which is an uncommon marking, and she's got a cattail, which is an uncommon tail. And Tabby is a really nice marking, and I'd love to get some Tabby babies out of her because it's just a really pretty marking that you can do a lot with. You can see I really goofed up here trying to draw the tail, and then I just completely gave up and just said, no, never mind. Like, I realized as soon as I finished kind of like the shading, I was like, wait, this is the wrong direction, and then I get rid of her. But yeah, you see how I draw her just very cat-like. She's supposed to be a horse dog, but I can't help myself. She's got the cat tail, she's got the cat markings. I just can't help myself. She's full cat. She's full kitten. I also, I used to, like, on my first couple of drawings of her, I completely forgot about her little white ear tips, and I had to go back and add them back in before anybody noticed. Yeah, I felt really dumb. But, yeah, so once she completes these, I've got a couple of others that are, like, waiting, some really cute ones that are waiting to be approved. I got a semi-custom out of a loot box, for, like, the current event that's going on. I won a loot box, and I randomly got a semi-custom item, so I get a custom, and I'm super excited. I made my favorite animal is an African wild dog, so I made one. I made a Veyron that looks like an African wild dog, and I can't wait for it to get approved. Or if they're like, because it's a pretty complicated and weird design. It very well may have to go back in for revisions. I wouldn't blame them. But once it's approved and like ready and done, I cannot wait to start drawing him. I am so excited because I absolutely love African wild dogs, and there's actually a couple of other people in game with African wild dog themed Veyrons. They all look different, but there's a couple of other ones, and I'm like, I really want to like message everybody, be like, hey, can we do a group shot with all of the African wild dog ones? Because I think it would be fun. Yeah, so I'm going back in. It's those last minute touches that are really super important, I think, you know, getting in the mist, the color grading, and then the snow and everything. Making sure everything gets those final touches is super important to make sure everything looks nice. But yeah, I hope that you've enjoyed this. I know this was a little bit longer, a little bit more weird, but I really do like this game. You'll probably see a few more drawings from it. And I really do recommend checking it out. If you think anything like that I've said sounds fun, then it's fun, dude. Super fun.